Hello, everyone. I don't know everyone, maybe just one person listening, but I'm happy with everyone who's listening. Hi. There is a new podcast, and I know you think, okay, another one, but yes, another one. But this is a special one, I think. It's me. My name is Anousha and Lulu, and more importantly, my daughter, Ludmila Figué. Hi, Lulu.
Hi.
That's my nickname for her, is Lulu. And I've been making podcasts for a lot of years. I made the podcast Dipsaus with my amazing friends Mariam El-Maslouche and Ebise Wakjira. Dipsaus, you can still listen to them. But now I want to do a new one. I want to talk about other topics. And since my daughter and I are very close, I thought, isn't it interesting to discuss certain topics with different generational, different generational interpretations? And also to kind of like explore our boundaries, because we're very close, maybe too close, I don't know. So we're going to explore our amazing mother-daughter bond boundaries and discuss controversial, interesting topics. Okay, why don't you tell something? Tell us about you.
Okay, my name is Lulu. I'm currently a student at City College. I'm studying film production. And I'm excited to start this podcast with my mom. Since I've been growing up, a lot of my friends were always surprised by how close my mom and I are, and how I tell my mom a lot, and sometimes, in their opinion, too much. So in this podcast, we're going to find out exactly if that is the case indeed, and we're going to search for, are there any boundaries when it comes to mother-daughter relationships? Is there such a thing as being too close, telling each other too much? Are there things you're supposed to hide from your mother or daughter? And all those kinds of topics. And we thought no better way to start than cheating. We're going to go right in the deep end, starting with a topic that all of us might have to do with at some point in our lives. Cheating. And the good and the bad sides of it. Because believe it or not, there are both sides.
Absolutely.
So, Mom, have you ever been cheated on?
Yes, I've definitely been cheated on. I've also cheated, but I've been cheated on.
And how did you find out that you got cheated on? And what's your first memory with being cheated on?
Yeah, my first memory was my first serious relationship was my boyfriend. We were in a band together. He was a drummer. I was the singer / backup singer, because we had like a girl who had a better voice than me, Lucretia van der Vloot, shout out. We sang.
Do you
together.
think she had a better voice than you?
Absolutely, she has a gorgeous, incredible voice, still does. And he was a drummer, and I was very in love with him. It was like my first huge, major, big love.
And how old were you?
I met him when I was 19, and we got together when I was about 20. And I was all that time I was in love with him before something started. So I was just so excited and happy, quote unquote, that he chose me. I mean, we're talking about the 90s, very toxic time, women and relationship wise. So I was very proud almost that he loved me. Of course, very insecure. Well, not of course, but I was very insecure. We'll discuss that in another show about insecurities, I guess. But anyway, cheating. He was a very good liar. So I couldn't really tell from him. Of course, I realized something was off, right? A little bit less attention. But the way I found out was actually through the girl. Oh. I saw the girl. We were performing, and she was in the audience, and she came up to us to kind of say hi. And I saw immediately by her look, her face, that, they cheated on me. She's the one.
How did you see that?
I could just tell. I said like, hi. I came up to her. She was kind of standing in the back. And I just went to her and said, hi, I'm Anousha, and nice to meet you. Because it was his ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
So I thought I wanted to introduce myself. And I had like my doubts. And I immediately saw how she responded. Oh yeah, they fucked.
Okay. So where did you go from there?
Yeah, it was a mess. I was really young. I was like 20, so I wasn't really good at like controlling my emotions. So I immediately went to him. I think it became like a really big, not like a brawl. I was never violent, but yeah, I immediately started arguing with him, like shouting, screaming. It was a big mess. Yeah, in our dressing room and the performance, I was like, I know it happened.
Oh, it was
I
like
saw.
at the same event where the girl was still there.
Yes. Oh yeah. So in the dressing room area,
Wow.
I immediately confronted him.
And then you guys had to perform after?
It was after the performance.
Oh, okay. And did he admit?
No, he tried to say no for the longest time, so I don't think he ever admitted it. I think she admitted it at some point, because I think I even called her, whatever. It was a big drama. I was 20, I was passionate, and yeah, I knew. And at some point, he did admit it.
And was she the only girl that he cheated on you with?
Oh, hell no. No. I wish. No. He cheated very often. It was a very, very unhealthy, toxic relationship. My first big love, and we were in a band together, and I adored him. It was horrible. I went through the ringer with this guy.
So when you found out about this ex-girl that he was cheating on you with, did you stay?
Yes, I stayed. We were
Why?
Yes, we were together for 3 years, and this was like in the first 6 months. Why? I think it's also generational. You know, there's so much more awareness and so much more support, and women have so much more contact with each other. I was kind of raised still in the time of like, if a guy likes you, you should be very happy and proud. Not from my mom. My mom, Omi, your grandmother, was absolutely not like that. And I can't even say that my friends would be like, oh yeah, you should stay with him. But that was just the general kind of consensus, the patriarchy. You know, that was expected. Oh, boys will be boys. That's how men are. So yeah, I argued a lot. Of course, I kind of broke up with him. And then, of course, we got back together. So it was usually breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together.
Okay, and there's a lot of people, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but they say how if someone cheats on you, it's out of your control, it's not your fault, but if you decide to forgive them or stay with them after, then you can't really blame them anymore, then it's on you. And since you did that in this situation, would you agree with the statement, or why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like on you or not on you. It's, of course, it's like a myriad of different things. I do think, because you can't change someone else, you can change yourself, and it's very good to really look at yourself. I think that's most important, because I thought I wasn't worth more. You know, that was the bottom line. I thought I should be very, very lucky that this handsome, attractive guy liked me. And that's how men are, you know, still more like a victim of the patriarchy and expecting things to get better, thinking I could change and that love would conquer all. So, but I think it's important to look at yourself. Why do you think that this is good enough, or that this is what you deserve? That's why it's an interesting podcast also, because I was raised by mom, mostly by my mom, and we also didn't have a lot of boundaries. I also told her everything. But she was really a champion, and she told me 100 times, he did you a favor, he showed you who you are and who he is. Dump him, loser, horrible.
Okay. And so you mentioned that he was a very good liar, and I'm assuming also a manipulator, gaslighter, all such. And for those who don't know, my mom is an actress, and she grew up with a big career in acting in the Netherlands, where we grew up, Amsterdam. And I'm wondering in any way, because my mom is also a very good liar. I told you guys we're going to be very honest and brutal in this podcast. So I can't help but wonder, since this was your first relationship, did he in some form shape the way you lie, shape your acting? Did he help you become a better liar? Because it does something to you. When somebody gaslights and manipulates you, and especially at a young age, you can't help but like retain some of these traits.
I've lied to a lot of guys.
Yeah.
To almost all my boyfriends. Even to your dad in the beginning, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna be brutally honest.
Shout out dad.
But he did too.
Oh,
but that's another.
That'll be for next episode, guys. Stay tuned with us. So I think one of the big things, since this was your first relationship, and now we're like a couple of years further. how, like, what would you say is the big difference getting cheated on in the moment versus now, like, years later looking back? Like, do you look at it differently? Has your perspective changed, and how?
When you're young and it's one of your first or second or third relationships you're developing, especially if you're in your early 20s, no, that it's you think also more black and white, right? That's also I think how young brains work, and you have less experience, so everything hurts more.
Yeah.
And of course experience, realizing that you can survive certain things. So things that I thought at 21, you never
get over.
never, and now I'm like, you know, when I had small children, when you guys were small, because you have a younger brother and a younger sister, if my husband Martijn, your dad, would have cheated then, and I would have known, I think I wouldn't have even, you know, thought about it, because it was just so hard to have a young family.
Yeah.
I would have been more like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just gonna let sleeping dogs lie, because I just want to keep this unit together. I can't do this on my own. Like, really selfishly, right? I mean, that's easy to say now, looking back. But I remember talking to girlfriends about it, like, oh my God, no, you know, there's no way I would, like, break up a marriage if you have three, because I had 3 kids under 4, right? I had, like, 4, 2, and a baby. Yeah, that's just, like, the hardest years. All right, but enough about me. Have you ever been cheated on?
No. At least not that I know of. You can never know something 100% for sure, of course. But to my knowledge, I have never been cheated on. And I think this definitely plays a role in my relationships, as I have created this very big fear around getting cheated on, because I don't know what it feels like, and I've never been through that, and I've seen all my friends go through it. And it's this thing where it's like, I made being cheated on worth way more than it actually is, because I haven't experienced it. And I feel like if anything, it makes me more scared and more vulnerable in a way, because a lot of my friends went through that at a young age. And for me, I haven't experienced it yet, so I don't know how I'm going to react if I do get cheated on. So I'm very terrified for that, but it's important to remember that if you do get cheated on, it has nothing to do with you, and it tells you more about that person than it tells you about yourself. It's usually because they're going through their own challenges or struggles, but you can never blame yourself for being cheated on.
So you sound very mature about this at 21. How do you know so much about that? So, because I didn't ask you the other question, have you ever cheated?
I was going to say, with this being said, I have cheated myself. Not once, not twice, multiple times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it true that you've cheated almost on all of your relationships?
Yeah.
Speak on that.
And I am currently in a relationship for a little bit more than a year right now. And I have not cheated on her. I can say that with 100% confidence. And I know that a lot of you guys are probably looking at me like, girl, I can just feel the side eyes, because I just admitted that I cheated on all my exes. So why would you believe me?
But let's go back.
I am going back.
Yeah, so tell me first about, because you were not raised, right, with a family that you saw that we were cheating on each other, drama, toxic relationship, you know, right? I think your dad and I have, you know, of course we have our issues, but we have a fairly healthy relationship, I think. Or was it something that you saw growing up that made you want to think like,
no, not at all.
Cheat when I'm older.
No. I grew up with a perfect example of love I've always had, and I'm very grateful for that. Like, my parents have been together ever since I came to this earth, and I've seen nothing but love between them. So I really...
You saw us argue sometimes, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was never anything physical or aggressive or violent or anything concerning. So, I think growing up, I was very avoidant when it came to relationships, and like all my friends became boy crazy during middle school and high school, and I was just not interested in boys like that. And it came to a point where I did explore things with boys because I feel like it was part of the age, and I just never really cared about it. So then it all just made sense. And basically where I'm getting with this is that she was my first relationship, and it was the worst relationship of my life, okay? It was very bad, and not only was it my first love, it was also my first girl, gay awakening, whatever, gay experience. And she was, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, she was extremely abusive, stalker, and she hates that word, but that's okay, because there hasn't been any contact in years for now. But anyways, the point is, she was a very terrible person. And I will get into being in an abusive relationship in another episode, but right now we're focusing on cheating.
Yeah.
And I have cheated on her a lot. And I think...
Oh, you also cheated on her?
Yeah. And I think for me, because I was so weak in that relationship and I was dealing with so much horrible things that she did, cheating was kind of like my revenge. And it was like my way to fight back because I'm not a violent person. I didn't want to lower myself to her levels. So yeah, I did cheat. And I would say that, yeah, there's no justification for cheating, but like,
yeah.
Because that was my only way to fight back. I mean, obviously it wasn't, but that's how it felt in the moment. But it was also this thing where I was very scared that she was gonna cheat on me first or hurt me first. So it became kind of this thing where I was gonna beat her to it. And I think in a lot of relationships after this, like when you are in an abusive relationship, you feel so worthless and weak afterwards. And especially because this girl was shorter than me, she weighed less than me, she was less strong than me. So, you know, that does a lot to you mentally. So I feel like a lot of relationships after, I would cheat because I didn't want to get cheated on. And also because I didn't want to commit or I didn't feel like worthy of a relationship. So yeah, they're not good excuses, but that's genuinely what would go through my head in these moments. I remember when I got out of that abusive situation, I immediately wanted to find a new girlfriend because I didn't want my only and first girl experience to be tied to this terrible person. So I jumped in a new relationship after very quickly, and that wasn't the right thing to do. And that girl was very, very sweet, very kind, but we are like on good terms to this day. Shout out to her. And yeah, it hurts to know that I cheated on her. It hurts. And it wasn't fair that...
Can I ask something about that?
Yeah.
Did you apologize to her?
Yeah, I did. So if you thought this wasn't bad enough, the way that she found out that I cheated was actually way worse. So basically...
Okay, I don't know this story at all. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So our relationship was falling apart. I think we were like 4 or 5 months in. It was short, guys. And then I was having doubts because I realized after a while, like, I wasn't really in love with her. She was very sweet, but it wasn't love. So I broke up with her. Then, as one does, I was still stalking her TikTok and her Instagram, whatever, even though I blocked her, but I would still check her TikTok. And 2 days later or 1 day later, there was this girl all up in her comments. And she was also all up in this girl's comments. And I'm just like, wait a minute. We broke up 2 days ago or a day ago. And you're in this girl's comments. She's in your comments.
That's pretty quick.
There's no chance. Like, there's no way you guys didn't have contact while we're in a relationship. And back in these days, I was a little unreeled. How do you call that? Unreeled?
Yeah, you were kind of like loose or...
Yeah, I was very impulsive.
Emotionally impulsive.
And very,
yeah.
Impulsive.
Understanding also after what you've been through, right? Yeah.
So...
And young, you were really young. You were what, 19, 20?
Yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I flipped out. And I unblocked her and I messaged and I text her being like, oh, so we're both cheaters with hard eyes.
Oh.
Just because I was hurt, I wanted her to be hurt. Yep, I'm honest.
Like, I'm
very
in pain,
horrible.
so you're in pain.
Yeah, like if I'm in pain, you're in pain, which is so bad, which is something my abusive ex would have done. So yeah, not proud of that. Not proud of that. And then she literally calls me immediately and she's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Like, what do you mean? I didn't cheat on her and on me. And she explained the girl, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, but you said we're both cheaters, so does that mean you cheated? And I was like, yeah. And this girl starts bawling and crying and the phone, and it was very sad. It was very, very sad. And I just remember feeling so numb. I felt so numb. And it was horrible. And it was definitely a wake-up call where I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. And yeah, I definitely apologized to her. And she was very hurt. But then we still stayed in contact. And eventually she still wanted to get back with me. And she still wanted a relationship. But I told her, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's good. Whatever. And not to make myself feel better, but I think she did start dating this girl, and I want to say 6, 7 months into that relationship, she did say that she wanted to cheat on her girlfriend with me, and she did try to get with me while she had her girlfriend.
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't feel too bad now, guys. No, I'm joking.
But what I find interesting is what you say, right? Like what we spoke about, just like with my first boyfriend.
Yeah.
Trauma really has such an influence on your relationships and how you handle the people who you claim or seem to love. It has nothing to do with the love. You can love someone or really like someone or be even in love or in like or whatever and treat someone horrible if you're unhappy, if you're going through trauma.
Yeah, exactly. And in this relationship and specifically, this girl was amazing. There was nothing she could have done to avoid me being cheated on. And that's why for all the girls out there that are so stressed, always checking their partner's phone, always on that, always trying to control what they're doing, save your energy. Please save it. Like, if they want to cheat, if they're going to cheat, they're going to do it. And you can waste all your energy and stress levels on finding it out.
Yeah, oh no, I don't agree.
But they're going to do it regardless.
Yeah, I don't
And
agree.
there's no point in stressing over it because you're going to find out eventually if they cheat or if they don't.
No. If I lived in this day and age and I was your age, I would check phones, everything,
but
all
it's
the time.
pointless.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pointless. It's so
because
pointless.
then you know in time. No. Because I think if you're young, don't waste too much time on that person. So yeah, if I lived now, if I was your age, I would be like, especially, and maybe it's different with guys, because with men I don't trust, guys I don't trust. Patriarchy is like horrible. It has such effect on relationship. So to any young girl would say like, find out and dump him.
Of course, and I'm all for to find out and dump him, and if you see signs, definitely go after them. But I know so many girls who spend so much time always checking the location, always checking their messages, always lying, always hiding, always trying to trick them and trap them. They spend more time doing that than actually being happy in a relationship. And at that point, if you feel the need to do that so much, then it's already not the right relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that there's it's either you need to have trust. And if you are in a relationship with someone, you have to choose to trust them. If they have given you no reason not to trust them, you need to trust them. And even if you do end up finding out that they cheated and you trusted them, you don't look stupid, you don't look embarrassing, because you did the right thing, which was to trust your partner, which is what you're supposed to do. I just feel like there's no point in wasting all your stress and anxiety on searching things, because if somebody cheats, a lot of times they're gonna delete messages, they're gonna just only maybe leave enough to keep you questioning, but not enough to really say that they did anything wrong, and then they're gonna just lie and gaslight. These are just the kinds of things that it's not point going after. But of course, if somebody reaches out being like, hey, your boyfriend is cheating, that's a different story. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, and what I also wanted to say, because I think maybe we're saying the same thing, but that made me think what you said, because I'm older, right? Mm-hmm. It's so important, again, like I said, why are you with that person, right? Okay, you trust your partner, but you kind of don't trust your partner, or you get certain signs, and then it's really important to stay with yourself and figure out, but why am I in this situation, in this relationship with this person? Who is this? Do I just feel grateful that this quote-unquote super attractive girl, boy person likes me?
Yeah.
Am I really into this person? Am I afraid to be alone? Do I think I should be in a relationship because I'm already this age, or blah, 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 or because everybody else is in a relationship? What is going on? That has helped me a lot growing up, because I've been in relationships also where I realized I just think I should be in a relationship. That's why I'm in this relationship.
Yeah.
And just because I committed, I cannot leave this person.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like my mom. I'm not gonna divorce 5 times, right? Or 3 times.
Yeah.
So like we kept saying, it's a lot. It's about yourself.
Yeah.
That's your first relationship.
That's the only thing I can say. Cheating is different for everyone, and people cheat for different reasons. There's different levels of cheating, and I don't agree with putting cheating in one box where it's like, one's a cheater, always a cheater, or if they cheated, they're not in love with you. No, there could be so many things going on why they cheated. The only thing I would say for every cheater is that it always has to do something with their own personal internal issues, and it's either they're going through something, they have trauma, they're not happy, they don't think they deserve you, or they're scared that you're gonna cheat or hurt them first. But it's always their insecurities, their pain, their conflict, and them fighting with themselves. And it's not fair that has to come out on someone else, and someone else is going to end up being more hurt or just as hurt by it. But it is important to remind yourself it's not your fault if someone cheated on you, and you can't control it. There is no right way to treat a partner so that they won't cheat on you. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. You can't avoid that because it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's about them.
You're so smart, Lulu. So amazing to hear this. So mature because you're only 21. But now just to kind of like, so you said you're in a relationship. I know your girlfriend. I love her. It's been over a year. We've been on trips even together, family trips. So I really, really have the feeling that I know her.
Yeah.
Crazy about her as well. So what has changed after that period of cheating on almost everyone? Because now has your fear. You could still be afraid that she's gonna cheat. What
and I still am
now?
sometimes.
Yeah.
I think, as cliche as it sounds, when I was cheating and doing a lot of silly things, I was constantly in a relationship or in a situationship, and I was bouncing from person to person. I was never alone. I was always with someone. And then when I started school again, because that's another thing, I left school, took a semester off, worked in a restaurant, so I was really not doing much. But when I started school again, finally, and I moved back to New York City and was in the city again, I became very busy I joined the soccer team, I was taking classes, I was commuting, I got an own apartment. So all these distractions and being alone, it made me realize that being in a toxic situation, because all my relationships were toxic, I didn't have time for that, I didn't have energy for that, and it cost too much work, and I was just bored of it. And also I wasn't drinking as much anymore because I had school. So I was doing a lot less things like that. And then that was my first time in a long time where I actually spent time by myself, and I actually went to a completely new environment by myself. And being alone and being active and playing sports, it helps. It helps a lot. And I started medication and therapy. These are actually the first things I should have mentioned, probably. The medication changed me for anxiety. I became a lot more relaxed. All these voices in my head were gone, and I could sleep normally, so I felt a lot better about myself. And before that, I had all this stuff going on, and a lot of times I would do impulsive things to either not think of these voices or to feel something, because sometimes I was so overwhelmed that I didn't feel anything. So anyway, the point is I was alone. Then me and my girlfriend got in contact, my now girlfriend got in contact, and she couldn't believe how different I was, because we actually used to talk when I was going through this period. So she knows my unhinged side. And now I was a changed woman. At least I told her I was. So she couldn't believe it at first. But that's another story. Again.
We have so many topics to discuss. Yes.
But now we need to stick to cheating. So basically now I'm in a heavy relationship. And I generally don't feel the need to cheat anymore. Because I'm confident. And whenever I do have insecurities or questions or misunderstandings, I go to her directly, and that's the biggest important part. Because before I would cheat a lot of times because they said something that would upset me, or because I was insecure, or because I didn't feel confident, or because I would get really drunk. And now it's just this thing where if I have any thoughts and any avoidant thoughts, I go to my girlfriend, and she always knows how to reassure me and make me feel good instead of looking for it in other people. Let's get into our takeaways from this topic. I think the most important thing when it comes to cheating is communication. I think if you do feel the need to cheat on your partner, or you are happy with your partner but you run across this other person in a bar and they make you feel some type of way, you need to talk to your partner about it. You need to communicate about it. It's so important. And if your partner comes to you and says, hey, I met this person at the bar, and they kind of made me feel certain things, and they made me realize things about our relationship, don't be offended. Don't be hurt. This is a good thing. They're coming to you. That means they want to fix this with you. They don't want that person. They want you. That's why they're going to you to talk about it and see what can we do about this. Don't be hurt. Because when you get hurt and offended, it shuts them out, and it's going to create a bigger disconnect. Because most people in long marriages or relationships who cheat, it's because of a lack of communication, and it's been building up for so long that if somebody comes by a bar who has no tie to your world and has that one thing that you're missing, it's so easy to just go for that instead of figuring this out with your partner, who might be offended, who might be hurt, it might be complicated. So I'm not justifying cheating. I'm just saying that when your partner comes to you about it, it's a good thing and it's an important thing, and it means that you guys can work on this. So Communication is the most important thing. If you feel certain things, you have to question why is this and go to your partner and figure it out together, and you can get through it. And how they will react to this information also tells you a lot about the relationship. So these are all very important conversations that need to be had. So I think my biggest takeaway from this is communication is indeed key. What about you?
Wow, Lulu, this is so beautiful. There's nothing else I can add to that. The only thing I can maybe add to that now with being older and experienced, especially to young people out there, why are you in this relationship, right? That's number one. And also I think to my older girls my age, because I have a lot of friends now, I have friends who've divorced or whatever, and I have a friend who found out later in life that she was married, had kids, but then later in life she realized, oh my God, she's so happy with a woman, so she had to divorce her husband in order to figure that out. So communication, yes, and also who am I? I think as women in this society, we are not. There's very little space for us, and we haven't even discussed being a woman of color and living in a white world, or living in a certain religion or whatever. So we have so little space. And we are so not allowed to figure out ourselves. Women are still from, society should be great mothers or great wives or great this or, as opposed to taking space yourself and learning to love and getting to know yourself. So that's the only thing I can add to your beautiful, beautiful conclusion.
Okay. And last but not least, to end us on a positive note, for any people out there who are currently getting cheated on and are dealing with the hurt after, you will get over it. And we want to help you guys on how to get over cheating and how to get past this, which I can't speak on. So back to my mom.
Well, let me just think of what my mom used to say. We definitely have to do like an episode with my mother, your Omi, as we say in Dutch, Omi. They did you a favor. So if a person cheats on you, they show you who they are. And the sooner you know that, the better, right? So you will get over it. It's not fun. And what's important, what me and my friends always would say, especially, look at yourself crying, see yourself, acknowledge yourself, acknowledge your sadness, your pain, your heartache. The only way to go through horrible heartache, to really get to why this is happening to you, who you are, what this means, is really going through it. And what we don't learn, and I did learn that a lot as an actress, is to look at yourself, to see what's going on with beautiful music, looking in the mirror, going through that pain, because it's also to love, to feel, to go through stuff is also, there's also something beautiful about it. Always.
No, I definitely agree on that. And I would say crying is a good thing. It's important. It feels like you're letting go of parts, you're letting go of certain toxins. I feel like a big feeling when you find out you're getting betrayed, you have this thickness in your throat, you feel like you can't eat, you feel nauseous, you feel sick. So crying helps, because after that your body's at a very relaxed state, so it helps you get through things. And if you have a hard time crying or letting it out, lock yourself up in your room and play sad music, read a sad poem, watch a sad movie, whichever medium works for you. We have all these amazing medium out there that can help you cry, because crying is not always easy for everyone. We all have a different relationship with crying, but there's always some form of media that will get that emotion out of you. So crying is good, communication is good. Cheating has nothing to do with you, but the person who is cheating. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope that you guys will stay around for what else we have to come.
Thank you so much. And please reach out to us.
All of our social medias will be in our bio description. So definitely check them out and leave us with questions that you want us to talk about next, because we will literally talk about anything. There is no limit and no boundaries. It's not called No Boundaries for nothing. And the more you watch us, the more you will see that we in fact have no boundaries. So,
and that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Stay around and find out. All right. Bye.
Bye.